Hey again everyone, so I have another review for you, and that is on Saving June by Hannah Harrington, and as always I'll read you the back of the book. If she'd waited less than 2 weeks she'd have been June who died in June, but I guess my sister didn't consider that. When 16-year-old Harper's sister June, the perfect, popular, pretty one to Harper's also ran, commits suicide just before her high school graduation. Nothing in Harper's world makes sense anymore. With her family falling apart, Harper has a plan. Steal June's ashes and take her sister to the one place she always wanted to go, California. Embarking on a wild road trip full of impromptu gigs and stolen kisses with mysterious musician Jake, the one person who could hold answers about June, Harper's determined to find peace for her sister, but will she find peace for herself along the way? So I'm part of the UK blog tour for this, so that link will be down below. So for a Q&A with Hannah, you should go over and check that out. Okay. Cover wise, I'm not a big fan of this cover. It just, to me, it doesn't convey anything that it could be there. I think that the US cover of this is much nicer. This just, it just could be so much more than it is. So I'm not overly fussed about it. This kind of cover, if I went into my local Waterstones and I saw it, I'd be like, not my kind of thing, you know, it doesn't convey anything that would draw me in. But the actual plot, oh, I loved this book. It's such an emotional book. We start off at June's wake, and Harper's family is now falling apart because nobody saw it coming. June was always, you know, the perfect sister, and now that she's gone, people just can't cope. Harper's parents had already divorced, but you know, it's still thrown her family into chaos, and her parents are, you know, splitting June's ashes, and Harper just doesn't really get why they're doing this, and she realizes that June had only ever wanted to go to California. That was her dream. She wanted to go to school there, and her mum wouldn't let her. She wanted her to go to a state school nearby, and this sort of crushed part of June's spirit, you know. That and other things made her depressed, and Harper realizes that the one thing that she can do for June is take her to California, where she always wanted to go, and she feels that this is the one last thing that she can do to help June and also herself, because she feels guilty as well. And this was a really, really great book. I didn't know if it would be my thing or not, but definitely gripped me. Sometimes Harper can be a difficult character to like. She can border on the cruel, but you always know where that emotion is coming from. It's not because she's a horrible person. It's kind of a combination of a number of things. How she's always been treated as second best, really. There is a romance element, but it doesn't develop until way into the book, and even then, it doesn't still focus from June's story and getting her to California in any way. And it was kind of a love-hate relationship as well, how they sort of tear chunks off of each other. That's what I would say about this book, is the emotion driving it always comes across as very real, not false in any way at all, and it's definitely moving. Along with Harper, you do go on this emotional journey, and you do feel for her and her whole journey really into taking June to California and resolving her anger at her parents and at June, at herself, and these feelings of guilt, I thought were conveyed really, really well. And at the end, it's not really a happily ever after, because it acknowledges that you feel pain when you feel pain, you know you're alive, and that sort of took me back to reading John Green's The Fault in Our Stars. The feelings that it provoked were very similar to this, and I think that if you liked that, you might like this book as well. But at the end, she says, like, you know, you are going to feel pain, but you know you're alive, and I don't want to die like June. I don't want to not feel. I do want to be alive. And she says, with her sort of emerging relationship with Jake, that it may go wrong, but she wants to experience that. And so that doesn't really patronise or contradict anything in the book. It doesn't suddenly throw this great big happily ever after thing, you know, everything's going to be fine. It acknowledges that, you know, maybe it won't. And I really like that about it. Very raw and honest. And, you know, it could have been like this big, oh, I love you, and let's get married and we're going to live happy ever after. But it wasn't. And I think that really worked. And there's a lot of music mentioned in this book. The musician Jake, he is obsessed with music, and on their road trip he, you know, informs them about all this music and he plays all this music, and I found myself pausing and looking up the music and listening to it. And at the back of the book there are 3 playlists, and I would say that you get a lot out of it if you listen to the music as well, because you feel like you're there with them, and you the music sets the mood, and you feel it a lot more that way. I definitely recommend this. I think I give it a 4 out of 5. Really, really enjoyable, emotional, and if you've read it, please let me know what you thought of it, because I really enjoyed it. I mean, I read it in 2 days, which is a good idea of how much I liked it to have read it in 2 days with college and exams and stuff. So yeah, if you have read it, let me know what you thought of it, and happy reading.